Welcome back. Now let's take a look at news from Friday. Late Thursday afternoon, a jury convicts Derrick Odomes for the murder of Hunter Horgan in 1992. District Attorney Cam Morvaughn says that he is proud of the decision the jury made and is happy for the family so they can now have closure.
Well, my thoughts are that we were pleased to be able to bring some closure to the family. This crime happened in August of 1992. And it was time that Mr. Odomes was brought to court and held responsible for his acts. I want to compliment, first of all, the jury for being very conscientious and attentive during the trial and listening to all the evidence that we presented to them. It was a unanimous verdict last night, and it was justice was finally served after 19 years.
Odomes will appear next month in court to be sentenced, but there are questions as to what he will be sentenced to.
Under a previous ruling by Judge LeBlanc, because the defendant was 14 years old when he committed this murder, is that the judge cannot sentence him past his 21st birthday, and the defendant is 33. So obviously, under the crime that he committed regarding Reverend Horgan, he could serve no jail time. But what has happened is that last week, Christine Russell, the felony prosecutor assigned to Division A, presented a habitual offender evidence to Judge LeBlanc, and Judge LeBlanc found that Mr. Odomes had been convicted of 6 prior felonies and sentenced him to life in prison. So justice has been served, as far as I'm concerned, that Mr. Odomes is going to serve the rest of his life in prison. Also, on the issue of the sentencing of the murder that he was convicted of last night, we have not made a decision whether or not we're going to appeal that once Judge LeBlanc actually hands down the sentence. We understand why Judge LeBlanc is going to hand down the sentence that he's already told us he's going to do. But there may be some issues that we can take a look at and whether or not we're going to take an appeal. In concluding this, I want to take this opportunity to thank the Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office, the Thibodaux Police Department, for all of their work and all of their effort in getting this case to us and then giving us enough information to go to trial. My staff in here, we've spent countless hours working on this case. Christine did the habitual offender hearing and was successful in that hearing, where Judge LeBlanc actually found him guilty of being an habitual offender, and also all the people that assisted and helped out during this trial. This is not something that I did alone. I tried the case, but it was not something that I just walked into court by myself. There's a lot of people that were involved in helping me prepare for the case and helping me with the evidence and everything else that goes involved in trying a case like this.
In more court news from Thibodaux, a grand jury indicts Jeremiah Wright for the murder of his 7-year-old son.
The grand jury evidence was presented to the grand jury this morning. They've just returned an indictment against Jeremiah Wright for first-degree murder. His arraignment is scheduled for 9 a.m. This coming Monday in Judge LaRose's court.
Okay. And in economic development news, Secretary Stephen Moret stops at HTV to talk about economic development in the state of Louisiana and the local area.
Well, I'm very pleased to say that Louisiana continues to move up dramatically in all the various national rankings related to business climate, related to economic development. In terms of our business climate rankings, Louisiana is now ranked its highest ever position on every national ranking of state business climates. In fact, 3 of the national rankings were now in the top 10 ranked state business climates in the country, and that's a huge improvement. Just a few years ago, we were ranked on average in the bottom 10. We're now on average in the middle 20s, and in several of the rankings, we're now in the top 10 in the country. Our state workforce training program, Louisiana Fast Start, last year was ranked #1 in the country for the first time. Just a couple weeks ago, it was ranked #1 in the country for the second time. Our state economic development agency, LED, itself was ranked second best in the country last year. It was ranked best in the country just a few months ago by Site Selection Magazine. The other national ranking of state economic development efforts, Polina, ranked as second best in the country. Both of those are highest ever rankings. So Louisiana's got a lot of momentum right now. We're experiencing a lot of growth right now in jobs, a very solid year, over 30,000 net new jobs in the state created. Of course, with the governor's support, we've attracted projects that are creating over 45,000 new direct and indirect jobs, over $10 billion in new private sector capital investment, and of course hundreds of millions in new sales for small businesses located across our state. The Bayou region is participating in that success with a still very low unemployment rate here. The state continues to outperform. We're looking for a very strong second half of 2011 and a solid 2012 as well.